Let's get it. Alright guys, I thought I'd take a little time to shoot a companion video to the video I released last night, about the Brown family and the Brown family situation. Now, I'm talking specifically about Christine and Janelle and how they approach their relationship post breakup with Kody. Now, before I get into it, I would simply ask to do the YouTube stuff that you guys go ahead, give me that thumbs up. Let me know that you're enjoying my content, that you're getting something from it, and hopefully you'll be able to participate in my upcoming lives. Speaking of which, make sure you're subscribed to the channel because fellas, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, we are launching the lives next week. I am committed to doing it next week. We're going to be launching those lives. Now, let me know if you guys are interested by leaving a take down below in me doing a live reaction to the next episode when it drops on Sunday. If you want to post air date after party episode live to get my reaction of my first take of what I saw during the course of the episode, let me know down below. It's easy to do. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. You'll be notified when I upload content just like this, as well as when I go live. Don't forget that HBO special. It stands for Help a Brother Out Special, so hit that subscribe button. Let's get it. Now, what I wanted to talk about specifically was the difference between Christine and Janelle's situation, as well as to expound upon the idea that when I said that Kody settled for Janelle and Christine and Mary, that's what I meant, and it's not necessarily reflected on these ladies, but more or less reflective on Kody. Now, let's talk about first Janelle and Christine's relationship. When you have these types of relationships, and I don't really have a whole lot of clips to put together to illustrate this point, but I just want to speak to you guys like mental to mental. Okay, when we talk about these types of relationships where you're counseling a friend about their situation, you have to talk to them where they are, not where you want them to be. Sometimes when people are in these bad situations, they have these bad relationships, they aren't mentally, psychologically, physically, or financially prepared to walk away from that relationship. It may seem easy for you to tell them to do these things, like you just need to pack a bag and go, but they have real world consequences to that decision. Now, in addition to them having real world consequences to that decision, if they follow your advice, I say to Janelle, I have her phone number, I call her up, Janelle, you need to leave Kody immediately and walk out, leave that clown alone and hang up the phone. When she packs her bag and walks out the door, if she hasn't prepared herself financially, she has nowhere to go. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, I hang up the phone, I go into my room, click the TV on, lay back and watch my television in my home, my house, my place. So it's easy for me to tell her what to do because I'm not going to live with the consequences of my action, of that decision. There's also a point where as a mother and they share children together, she has to take into consideration the effects or fallout that her kids are going to withstand. And in Kody's case, because he is so childish and so immature and everything is so ego driven for him, by Christine leaving, that could impact her children. And it did impact her children. When she had a disagreement with Kody and she got an argument with Kody, all of a sudden he started ignoring her daughter. And he didn't call Savannah and check on her, wish her Merry Christmas, none of that. So there are things that she has to take into consideration. There's also another secret hidden gem that I think should be mentioned. When we talk about Christine telling Janelle to leave, we have to keep in mind that Christine and Janelle, although they were in a like relationship or similar relationship, their relationship with Kody was fundamentally different. Christine was looking for more the romance end of marriage, the complete marriage, the fulfillment end of marriage. Janelle was basically looking for a partner that she could come by and see, and they'd come visit, and then he leaves. Like she was looking for something a little more convenient, we'll say. And so because their expectations out of the relationship were different, when those expectations weren't met, they feel them different and it hits them differently. In addition to that, when Christine left the marriage, she also was in a better financial situation than Janelle is in. Christine, for those who are uninitiated or don't know, when they moved to Las Vegas and they purchased those homes in Las Vegas, Christine's house was 100% in her name. It was her loan, her house. When she sold her house in Las Vegas, or they moved to Arizona, she refused. She most likely, I can see this conversation. She told Kody, I am not selling my home to move to a rental. I'm not going to give up home ownership so I can start renting in a place. So if you want me to go to Arizona, we'll be looking for me to purchase a home. And we'll figure it out as a family. Or I will stay my ass right here. Because Gwendolyn is going on and she just won an election and she's got stuff going on at school. And I don't have to go with you. Kody wanted to keep his family together. More importantly, wanted to keep that TLC check together. In the bank account, he wanted them checks to have company. So he agreed to allow Christine to purchase her home. That's how she got a house in Arizona. When she gets to Arizona, all of a sudden, she decides that, this ain't working out. Some things fell through. Kody makes some terrible missteps as far as Isabel is concerned, as well as some of the other kids and his treatment of other kids and his ability to come around and visit, so on and so forth. And Christine decides to hat the hell up. She takes her house. She sells her house. Now she has money in the bank. She has property in her name. She has cash on hand. Janelle, because she's contributed most of everything that she has, if not everything that she has financially to the family to keep the family afloat, as she had done previously for many, many years. When it was time for Janelle to leave, Janelle would have been walking out of there with flat pockets. So therefore, when Christine is telling her friend Janelle, you need to just leave. You need to just come move up here with me. I can't move up there with you, because if I move up there with you, I'm going to be living with you. Because I don't have the money or the resources that you have, because as Janelle said in a heartbreaking form and fashion in the first episode, I have nothing to my name. I have nothing. I'm 50 years old and I have nothing to my name. That was one of the most heartbreaking things I had heard on Sister Wives, aside from how Kody treats these kids. And, it was terrible. It was a terrible situation. So I respect that. And keeping that in mind, when Christine is telling Janelle, oh, Janelle, you need to just leave. Janelle probably wants to scream at her like, Christine, I gotta hang around to see what I can get out of this damn stone. What I can squeeze up out this fool before I go. I gotta make sure the bag is secure before I pack my bags. I gotta make sure there's money in the bank before I hit the tank. You know what I mean? I gotta make sure I'm ready to go. So you got that cheddar, that paper, that flow, that grease, that cheese, whatever you want to call it. The greenback. She want to make sure that she's set financially, which isn't bad on Janelle's part. So she hangs around and keeps herself around so that she can stay relevant. Also, because she has so much invested in the Coyote Pass land deal, she might want to stick around Arizona just to make sure that Kody isn't trying to do some kind of planning or selling or improvement on that land without her permission or knowledge. That could be a suspicious thing too, and she can't necessarily say that or feel comfortable in revealing that strategy on the couch or to Christine. Now, the thing that I really wanted to talk about with regard to that is also when you're having these conversations with your friends, you always have to be careful about these kinds of conversations and light them for long periods of time with your buddies, because you become the pain that they are trying to ignore or forget or get over or get through. When you talk to your friend or your buddy, your pal about these issues, and that's all you talk about, that becomes your relationship. And you always have to be careful or mindful of that. You don't want your relationship to be defined on the pain or difficulty that they're going through, because if that happens, then when they get through that pain, they get over that pain, or they no longer want to pay attention to that pain, it doesn't hurt as much, they don't want to keep you around as a reminder. They don't want to keep you around as a person who, yeah, remember when you was crying like a baby? And especially I've been in that situation where I've had, especially guy friends who have broke up with a young lady. A young lady most broke up with them. Let's keep it real. She left him, she left him, and she cheated on him or whatever the case may be, and decided to go off with the other fella. And these dudes sitting around for like weeks or months crying and belly aching about how can she do this to me? And oh God, I loved her so much. And I'ma do. I always wanted to be with her. And they spend so much time doing that. And then when they try to redefine themselves later as like these playboys and these, F boys and all that kind of stuff. And I don't care about women and I get them and I put them down, I'm breaking backs and I'm banging them out and all that kind of stuff. You're a reminder of the man that he was, maybe 6 months to a year ago. You remember who he actually is. And so, no, he doesn't want to keep you around. No, he doesn't want you to participate in those discussions. So it creates a problem and they got to get rid of you. And you can no longer be their friend. So that becomes a problem too. So you always want your relationship to constantly be evolving, constantly changing, constantly developing. If you're talking about these negative things, add something positive to your relationship. Add something positive to your interaction so it's not just focused on the negative. You help them through the difficult times, but you're also helping them to build themselves up so they can get past that negative time. That's where I would be at. Now, as far as Kody settling for them, let's keep it all the way a stack. He met Mary. Mary may be a wonderful woman, a beautiful lady. But he met Mary when he was young, and she was young. In both of them have acknowledged, on several occasions that they were too young possibly to get married, and that's why they insisted that their daughters go off to college and they get some kind of education, they have some life experience before they get married. They've never encouraged their 17, 18, 19-year-old daughters to run out and find a husband. And I think that that's part of the reason why. Mary was a young lady who was part of a faith that allowed for polygamy. Kody's parents, when he was away on his mission, had become polygamists in the AUB. So Kody finds a young lady who would allow him to live that lifestyle out. And there's not a whole lot of them running around. We got to keep that in mind, too. There's not a bunch of them. You go down to the club and just start picking up polygamists. Polygamous party town. That's not the case. So you find what you can. She was available. She was interested. All of a sudden, she becomes interesting. The two of them get together. In some cases, out of convenience, they get married. And I'm not saying that she wasn't in love with him. And I'm not saying he didn't love her. But I beg the question, was he ever in love with her? Did he ever feel like she completed him, that she was his soulmate? And I'm kind of struggling with the answer, coming to the answer that the answer is yes. Like, I just don't believe that. I think that she gave herself to him 100% and she was committed to the relationship. Same thing with Janelle. They were, needed a place to stay. Janelle, her ex sister-in-law, because Janelle was married to Mary's brother at one point. They got divorced. She had a house. Janelle had a house. Kody and Mary needed a place to stay. They rented a room from Janelle. They were hanging out with Janelle. And you know the rule when you have, you a man and you got somebody, some fine young lady up under your roof, you might take a look and a little glance. So he might have took a look at Janelle and was like, in our religion, you could have two wives. So he goes back, he talks to Mary, he gets along with Janelle. The three of them get along. Convenience. The situation is as it is, and it's a good business relationship. It's a logical coupling as far as Janelle is concerned. They get together. Christine, she's literally part of the royalty in his church. So by him getting with her, it makes him automatically a big deal in the church. And I can go through episode after episode and example after example of where Kody is making moves to try to impress somebody else. When they moved to Vegas, he basically wanted to become the spiritual leader in Las Vegas. He said that when we come to Vegas, when people from our church can come out and visit us and they can come to our church or our services and fellowship with us at our houses in the cul-de-sac, and they can participate in our religious practice. Who was the head of the church? Because it was his houses, Kody. So Kody would have by default been the leader of the Las Vegas branch of the AUB. Hello? When they moved out to Arizona and he said he wanted to purchase that land on Coyote Pass. I want to build a big house. What was the house that he was talking about building? That was the same house that the Duggart was talking about building. I think Darger. Well, Joe Darger wanted to build when he was talking about, I want to build one house. It'll have like basically little houses offset from one big hall where the family can all get together, but each one of the wives will have their own private residence. That sounded a lot like the house that Kody wanted to build out there in Arizona. It sounded a lot like that. In fact, it sounded exactly like that house. So what Kody wanted to do was he wanted to build the megaplex of polygamy living so that he can become the example. And speaking of examples, if we go back to episode 1, season 1 of Sister Wives, Kody joined this show because he wanted to become the role model and the ambassador of polygamists. He's always had that feeling that he wanted to be bigger than he was. So when the opportunity, you can't tell me a young Kody and the opportunity to marry into the royalty of his church presents itself that he's not going to take it, he absolutely took it. And this comes from a guy who says that the same woman that he broke his neck to marry, the same princess, that's why they call her princess, because she is church royalty. Not because of the way she acts, but because of her bloodline. When he married her, he said he was physically disgusted by her. That's somebody who settled. Now, when I use the word settle, it's offensive to some, and I appreciate that because it is offensive that he would look at these ladies and say that they are not value or find value in these ladies. The problem is, and this is for most relationships and most people, when you're in a relationship and just because somebody doesn't find value in you does not mean that you are not valuable. There was a story I had heard a little while ago. There's a man, he has a daughter, and his daughter comes in, she graduates college, and he wants to teach her a lesson in life. He says, okay, I want you to take my car, because he collects cars. He said, I want you to take this car to the car dealership down the street. Tell him that you want to trade it in. Ask him how much he's willing to give you for this car. She takes the car to the car dealership. She pulls it in. The car guy comes out. You know how the salesman come out. Hey, you're looking for something. He comes out, has a conversation with her. She says that she might be thinking about trading this car in, and what would he be willing to give her for the trade. He looks at the car, he says, I'll have my mechanic look at it. They look at the car, they say, well, I'll give you about $2,000 for this car. She says, okay, thank you, and then she takes the car back home. He says, okay, now I want you to take the car to this guy. He gives her a business card. She takes the car to the next guy. The guy looks at the car, he says, oh my goodness, this is a rare car. They only made 14,000 of these cars, and only maybe 15 are still in existence. I will give you $300,000 for this car today if you sign it over to me. The moral of the story, there's a lot of people who are sitting on top of valuable things, but the thing is only valuable to people who know what it is and what it's worth. When you look at Kody and how he treated the OG3, he didn't see value in those women. When you talk about like the Easter thing, and I'm going to do a video about the whole Easter debacle and the whole Easter episode. But when you look at how he talked about the Easter episode, what did he say? Christine was excited about doing Easter. She wanted to do more Easter, and she wanted to have Easter celebrations and do the egg hunts and stuff. She was excited about it. Kody didn't care for it. He said, no, that's pagan. Janelle wasn't excited about it. We need to get rid of it. The family stopped doing it. Robin comes into the family. She all of a sudden, my kids celebrate Easter. And if you don't celebrate Easter, I'll take them back to hang out with my mom. No, baby. We're going to celebrate wives. Christine, Mary, Janelle, we celebrate Easter now. It's not because, and my favorite part of that is Robin tries to portray it as, well, when a new wife comes into the relationship, they have to try to accommodate the new wife and her belief system, blah, blah, blah. That's all bullshit. What it is Kody cared about Robin. He loves Robin. He's in love with Robin. He values Robin. So when Robin comes in with a different perspective, he's willing to listen to it. When the wives are saying that, all the wives, two of the wives, Janelle and Christine, they both had earrings. Remember that? Earlier on, they both had earrings and they were wearing earrings. Kody didn't like earrings. He told them to stop wearing them. Mary, she never wore earrings. She said she's allergic to it, which is possible. She never wore earrings, so she didn't care. Robin comes in. She's wearing earrings. She says she want to wear earrings. Guess what, y'all? We wearing earrings now. It has nothing to do with the value of the person. Is how the person values you. So if you sit there and you tie your value to somebody who doesn't value you, then you're worthless. And it will treat you as such. But if you find somebody, because that's what's so desirable about the story arc of Christine, is that she was with somebody who didn't value her at all. She left that situation. She found somebody who values her and saw the value in her the same way that second man from the example I gave earlier knew what he was looking at. And say, you know what, you got a woman who is dedicated to her kids. She likes having fun. She likes laughing. I like laughing. She's a little quirky. Hey, who don't like a little strange sometimes? Who don't like to get their little freaky deaky weirdy thing happening? She's committed to relationships. She's committed to her family. This is something valuable. She's down with trying to make the most out of everybody around her. This is something valuable. She's a builder. She's not a taker. This is something valuable. I'm going to go ahead and put a ring on it. And Dave Woolley and Christine Brown are now married. Christine Woolley, I think her name is now. And she got a certificate. So it's not about how somebody else sees you. Because how people see you and how people view you and what people think about you is none of your business. You let them think whatever they want to think. And you go out and make the most out of your life. That's my take. I'm James. This has been My Take on Reality. And I'm out. 'Cause I've been living life right like I